Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. Previously, the very scary duel between Archer and Lancer came to a sudden and unexpected end when a third party was revealed to have borne witness to the fight. And, true to their duties, Lancer left the fight to go kill that witness, who didn't appear to be a Magus. And Rin, discovering the body, which was soon to die, used up her magical stone, which had 10 years worth of magical energy accumulated in it, to heal that poor victim. But later that evening she realized, oh crap, I forgot to magically erase his memories, this is still a problem. And now she's tracked down that boy to his home, which seems to be quite the luxurious estate. And that's where we are right now. And I am very excited to say that it's looking very, very likely that with this video, I will finally reach the point where I quit reading this so long ago. At some point in this video, it's going to mark the beginning of entirely brand new territory for me, and I'm very excited for that. First though, one more thing. I meant to say this last time, but I completely spaced about it. I think it's worth discussing exactly how Lancer made himself known. Because indeed, Lancer made himself known. In a war where the objective goal is to see the deaths of all your competition, Lancer gave Rin and Archer a fair shot. And for that matter, it was only after Rin began trying to drain the power from that rune on the school. So I think that Lancer watched Rin carefully to determine if she really was the Magus that set down that rune in the first place. Because the moment Rin started draining the power from it, that would be proof enough that she was not the one who would do such an awful thing, just kill everyone in that school for power. And so that made Lancer think, yeah, you're cool, I respect ya, still gonna kill ya, but I'll give you a fair shot. Because Saber, Archer, and Lancer are described as knights. And what are knights, if not people with chivalry? Chivalry is everything for knights, right? So I think I can say with confidence that Lancer's master was not the one who put that rune down on the school. Alright, I think we should go now. It's midnight. Under the cloudy night sky, we reach the Japanese-styled house. There's no sight of anyone in this house on the edge of the residential district. There aren't many houses around it, and there's no one to come and help if something happens here. My breath is white. A wind starts to pick up. It must be quite strong as the clouds start to drift fast. The supposedly warm wind of Fuyuki sends chills down my spine, making me tremble. Even if Fuyuki City is considered warm, it's still cold on the hill. The air around here is frozen. I strain my ears in the cold atmosphere. In the frozen feeling, I feel a small sense of an enemy. He's here. The servant from before. Lancer? I bite my lip. His presence is perceptible on the other side of this wall. Lancer is in the house already, and about to kill the same guy again, who has just come home without a clue as to what happened. I just have to jump in and beat him. I'll worry about what comes next when it happens. Just as I'm about to command Archer to go in, A bright white light, like a fallen sun, comes from within the house. The presence is eclipsed by another presence. The wave of power of the servant Lancer is consumed by an even larger wave. The instantaneous explosion of ether gives the spiritual being a body, summoned to overpower Lancer. No way. I can only mutter. But it's true. To prove it, Lancer jumps over the wall and leaps away as if fleeing from this place. Hey, Archer? Is this another one of your hypothetical scenarios? I don't know. But this makes 7. All the masters are here now, Rin. Archer answers calmly. I've lost my normal judgment. That's why I didn't even consider the obvious event that would follow. Is it obvious? The wind blows strongly. Clouds cover the sky like an umbrella. The unlit suburbs are enclosed by darkness. And the servant jumps over the wall, coming down like a demonic bird. Archer has reacted already, but I couldn't react. That was my mistake. The battle ended with that small opening, not lasting even a second. It might have been only a second for me, but for that servant, it was an opening that couldn't be ignored. A sword rushes for me. Archer? Archer pushes me aside and the servant slashes him. It happens in an instant. Archer, who handled Lancer's fury attacks beautifully, has been taken down with one blow. Archer, disappear! But I make it in time this time. Just as the enemy servant is about to cut off Archer's head with her blade, I forcibly remove him. A pain in my right hand. It must have been an excessive command, so a command spell has disappeared from my hand. Ah, crap! Oh no! You know what this means, right? Because Rin said, disappear, and it was a command spell, that means a greater amount of force will be needed to summon Archer back into form. This means Rin is gonna have to use her final command spell to make Archer return, right? That's how this works? No. Now there's only one remaining. But this is for the best. Rather than having Archer die, I would prefer to lose 1 or 2 command spells. Yeah, 1 or 2. I think Rin already knows what it means. Right. Giving no consideration to Archer's disappearance, the servant attacks me. Don't underestimate me! I take from my pocket a topaz with a wind spell stored in it. Then, I launch all the magical energy it contains at her without processing it. This thing, which can blow away a house without a trace, is a bundle of wind spells I've stocked up over time. It's one of the 10 jewels I've been putting my magical energy into for 17 years without rest. I'm using all the magical energy stored in it, so even if I can't defeat her, I should at least slow her down a bit. Not even that. It did nothing. The swirl of wind that instantly tears apart anything caught within it disappears like a magic trick the instant it touches the servant. Oh yeah, that's right. The three knightly servants are pretty much immune to magic. Such strong magic resistance. Mere magical energy from a magus cannot hurt the servant. So, this is it. She can't be hurt by magic, and I've lost the protection of Archer, so I can't stop the servant. I barely managed to avoid one blow, but that's all. I look up at the night sky. In it is the figure of cold-hearted death who is looking down at me as I lay miserably on the ground. What? Yeah. So, man, I have to wonder about this. Well, I know exactly who Saber's master is, because we saw him... Yeah, we saw him at the start, I'll just say it, it's Shirou. Emiya Shirou. Rin has quite confidently concluded that there's no other magus in the entirety of the school. She's attended it for months, for years even, and in that time she said it would be impossible for a magus to conceal themselves from her forever. It would just... she would detect it at some point. And so, Shirou, who is evidently not a magus and has no magical talent, went and summoned the most powerful servant, Saber. Is it some sort of leftover from the 10 years of magical energy that Rin poured into him? Like, I would think all the energy would be used to heal his pierced heart, right? But is there some amount of it, a good portion of it, that remained in his body, and that's how he summoned Saber? Because even Rin, who Archer admitted to be a prodigy at magic, failed at summoning Saber 1 hour off from the height of her power. It's just, it has me so confused. How did Shirou summon Saber of all servants? Well, I mean... Wait, actually, no, wait. Saber was the last, the seventh servant. Saber was all that's left. Therefore, wouldn't any attempt whatsoever, no matter how feeble, summon a Saber, no matter what? Huh. The wind blows. In between the dark clouds and the spiral sky, the moon shines. The falling moonlight and the beautiful face. This is the servant that drove off Lancer, defeated my archer in one strike, and annulled my magic with no trouble. That magic was splendid, Magus. The girl's voice is like a bell. Yes, this voice is like a nightmare right now. It's only natural. The more beautiful my enemy is, the more of a nightmare it is, as I cannot believe the difference in our strength. But this is your end, Master of Archer. The point of the sword shines brilliantly. What sword? I don't see a sword. It's invisible. I can't see it. On the verge of death, I understand. With just one look, without proof. This is the card I wanted. The one said to be the strongest of all servants, the hero of the sword. I look up at the moon, accepting my death. There's no time for me to flee or plead for my life. I will die here, and Tosaka Rin's Holy Grail War will end on the third day. There is only disgrace and regret, and I will probably vanish bearing a grudge against my enemy. But still, I don't feel anything. Something must really be wrong with me. Even though I'm going to be killed in an instant, I adore her again. That's right. If you ask for regrets, that's it. But I guess it can't be helped. Because she's the most powerful servant. Because her figure is just so heartless, so infinitely valiant, and so beautiful. Is this auto-playing? I'm scared to hit enter again. Okay. Hitting enter did nothing. Uh-huh. Okay, it seems my game might have froze. Now, I think I might know why. I remember this from when I played this last. A cutscene, an anime cutscene is supposed to play here. It's like sort of the intro for Fate, like an anime opening. And I set those to be disabled because they are rife with spoilers and I did not want to see them. I think the game might have locked up because it's not playing. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll make the cut here. I'll handle this. One moment. Did I do it? I don't know if I skipped to the right place. I think I fixed it. Oh no, I okay, I read that, but I didn't read it out loud. What are we looking at here? Well, alright, I had to fiddle with some of the options. I think I turned back on the movies, but even though I did that, I didn't see anything. After the fade to white, I was kind of just immediately brought to the title screen again, and I decided to hit new game because it looked different, and then it brought me here. So cool. God, I hope this is the right thing. I don't know what's going on. That's because I don't know what is going on. Yeah, this is new territory, officially. Yeah, that fade to white with Saber standing over Rin, that was where I left off. Yeah, that climactic moment there. So, from this point on, we are entirely new territory. Huzzah! Right. Let's continue then. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But that didn't last long either. The fire had died down by the time the sun rose. The tall wall of flame had shortened. Most of the buildings had fallen. It felt strange, being the only thing in that place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been really lucky, or my house was built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly because I thought it would be dangerous just to stay there. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned up like the people lying around me. Probably because, over and above not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because there was no air? Was it because no function was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up. I could see many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed overhead, telling me it would rain soon. That's good. The fire will be put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. I have to wonder if this cataclysmic, burnt, scorched place is the park that Rin talked about on the travels with Archer around the town. How there was a fire that destroyed the place and the park was left as a memorial. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of all the people who couldn't even say so. That was 10 years ago. The last Holy Grail War. After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived. But I think all the other things about me burned up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away a child's parents, home, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. That's why there is only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. You don't say! Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Emiya's backstory. And, yeah, he's the one who got pierced in the heart, so... I'm dreaming. Huh? I squint my eyes at the white light. So bright, I think. Oh, wait, that voice, though. It was just light entering my eyes when I woke up, but I'm not used to it. I probably didn't even understand what the bright light meant. I can't tell if that's Rin's voice or not. Huh? When my eyes focus, I'm surprised. I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed, in an unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe. Where am I? That doesn't sound like Rin. I look around. The room is big and there are many beds. A person is in each bed, and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. A hospital. I relax and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful. After a few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what had happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth. Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it, but in the hospital with my body wrapped in bandages, and my parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, so all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that man came, right when I was beginning to worry what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat and uncombed hair. The man, a bit younger than the doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father. Hello. He must be Shirou. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, Shirou's a little kid in this flashback. That's why the voice sounds so light. Right, okay. So, yeah, I was right. This is Shirou's origin story. A smile that seemed to melt into the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice. I'll ask you directly. Which would you prefer? To go to an orphanage, or to be adopted by this man you've never seen before? Well, ain't that funny? That man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he said he was just a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. But it made no difference, as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. So I decided to go with him. I see, that's good. Get ready quickly then. You should get used to your new place as fast as you can. The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess... Oh, I forgot to mention something important. I have to tell you one thing before you come with me. Is that okay? He turns to me lightheartedly and says, yeah. To start off with, I'm a sorcerer. Yo. Not a magus. A sorcerer. One of the 5 sorcerers. Wait, was it 5? I feel like it was 5. Ah. He says it in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it now, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words. Wow, you're awesome. I guess I said so with bright eyes. Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then. But my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, Emiya Shirou, that might have been the happiest day of my life. Right. Shirou, I know it doesn't mean anything, but I remember this guy being kinda sort of the lead protagonist of Fate Zero, even though there were so many perspective shifts in that. I remember Kiritsugu being the guy I kind of rooted for the most, if that matters. But again, I barely remember Fate Zero. I'm casting out all my knowledge from that and just saying. I do, now that I think about it, I do remember how at the end of that he kind of adopted Emiya. So there's that. Or Shirou, rather. So, I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus, I became an adopted son, and my last name became Emiya. Emiya Shirou. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. A story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me a student, so it must have been about 8 years ago. Yeah, so Rin's own father barely fathered, like didn't even know how to pat his child's head correctly. And yet Shirou's father, adopted father, would retell the story of how they met and how Shirou became his son over and over again. That speaks to some genuine affection. Big contrast there, I think. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone of voice that he would travel the world and actually act on those words. That's how it was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year. The Emiya house is a big Japanese-style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Kiritsugu. I was perplexed in the house at times, and it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Emiya Kiritsugu would come home from journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father who was always chasing his dreams like a kid. His attitude was astounding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I felt I should become reliable myself. One day, one. In numbers, in text, and in Roman numerals. Right, I think the number 1 is important here. I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. My mind waking up. Are you awake? Who this? Feels the cold air and the approaching footsteps. Oh, it's Sakura, right? Yeah. This is Alright, this is the person that Rin thought would be hit the most by Emiya's death, or Shirou's death. Because when Rin was kneeling over Shirou's body with the stabbed heart, it was Sakura that Rin was thinking about. And that fooled me into momentarily thinking that it was Shinji Mato. Or Mato Shinji? I forget which comes first. Damn it. But no, apparently Shirou and Sakura here are pretty close. Yes, good morning. Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to the situation. It's morning already. You have some more time, but Fujimura will get mad if you stay asleep here. You're right. Thanks for coming to wake me up. It's no problem at all. You're always up so early. I can only come and wake you up this occasionally, or like this occasionally. Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something. Really? I think you wake me up quite often. Though, Fuji always hits me to wake me up, so I'd rather have you wake me up. Well, I'll try harder next time. I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind not fully awake. Alright, but I'm happier when you don't try. Aww. Sakura is giggling. I guess my head was still dozing. I said something weird. Give me a second, I'll wake up. 5 more minutes. Oops. The cold outdoor air helps in situations like this. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Mato Sakura, my junior at school. This place is a shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock. Yo, why are you sleeping in the shed? Yeah, I'm awake now. Sorry, I guess I did it again. I have to help you cook breakfast, too. It's fine. You were up late last night again, right? So you should take your time in the morning. I'll get breakfast ready. So, why would Shirou sleep in the shed? Sakura says so in a happy tone. It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning. Can't let you do that. I'll get up right now, so let's go to the kitchen together. Alright, I'm all set. Let's go, Sakura. Oh. Okay, maybe Shirou was tinkering with that metal stuff there? Maybe just fell asleep working. Huh. What? Is something wrong? No. It's nothing, but I think you should change before you go back to the house. Oh. That said, I looked down at myself. I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. Nailed it. Being my work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Fuji would say to me if I went into the house like this. Wait, so... What is Shirou's living situation? Is he living with the Mato family? Guess I'm not awake yet. I'm a bit out of it this morning. That could be. So you rest here for a bit and I'll take care of breakfast. And you know, if you keep this place a mess, Fujimura will get mad at you. Isn't Fujimura the school teacher who was super anal about typos? Like the one who canceled the whole test and pulled the papers away from everyone because there was a typo discovered in the curriculum. Isn't that Fujimura? What is going on here? You're right. I'll go after I get changed. You go on ahead. Yes, I'll be waiting. Sakura leaves. Sakura leaves. I wonder if that's supposed to be a pun. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of a yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in here. As a result, it became my base. But for me, Emiya Shirou, I guess you could call this place my real room. The big Emiya household doesn't suit me, and I can only relax in this space full of junk. So, Shirou owns the main manor, and the Matos and Fujimura are living there? Besides, it's a waste. Even if it's junk, you can still use it. Most of the things in here are appliances that can't be used anymore. Did I bring all the junk in here because I like the place, or did I come to like it here because of all the junk? Anyway, since I was always sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix the broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that can still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up the stove last night. Yeah, didn't the first time we see Shirou was the student president was speaking to him about repairing some broken machinery in the school? Like, I remember seeing Shirou in overalls and he had like a wrench. So this fits. I guess I'll finish this tomorrow. It seems I don't have enough concentration, seeing how I fell asleep halfway. I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself. I gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are no spaces on this shelf full of things awaiting repair. An old VCR awaits after the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fuji broke both of them. What? Alright. I changed in my uniform. This place is like my room. It holds changes of clothes along with things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. There is also some kind of old design inscribed on the floor, like an altar or something. Well, let's get today started. Clapping my hands in prayer to the shed, I head for the house. What a cool estate. I emerge from the shed. The Emiya house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That on its own is a mystery, but it also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. A man named Emiya Shirou had no relatives in Japan. Really? Huh. Also, yeah, I kind of knew Shirou was dead. I remember that. Though, to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Wait, do I remember that? Maybe I just assumed it at one point. Old man Fujimura is in charge of complicated things like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood. Oh, okay. Alright, that makes a lot of sense. That's why Fujimura would be mad for dragging in filth to the house, I see. According to Father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss. Oh. Well, that's a problem in itself, but I prefer to ignore it. It's certainly true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad a person. It really helps me as he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Ah! Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. Okay, so are the Mateau's neighbors? It's been 5 years since Father died. The days have passed quickly. I sigh, thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Kiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. Yeah, you can't just become a sorcerer, right? It's natural because I had no talent to begin with. What can be said about having no improvement at all in 5 years? To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet. Huh. Yeah, so... maybe you can't even become a Magus either. After all, Rin did go on about bloodlines. Huh. No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, right now I should... Gasp! Choices. The first one, yes. Okay, gentlemen, now that the prologue is over, we're going to be running into choices. Right. So, this one on the surface seems a bit inconsequential, but I know for a fact in the future that there will be choices that will lead to bad endings, deaths, carnage, all sorts of nastiness, and I was told that I should expressly try to make the worst possible choice first, just so I can see everything. Right, I'm gonna make a save here. Can I? Yes. So, as you can see, I have been making saves for the ending of every video, and you can custom name them. Like, I have this first one, Part 2 start, Part 3 start, Part 4 start, Part 5 start, Part 6 start, and here's a save I made trying to get past that glitchy fade to white. And as you can see, there are 4 rows of 5, and that's just the first tab. There are 15 tabs. There are so many save slots. I intend to make a save for every choice. So I'm going to start this and say, Fate Choice 1. Maybe I'll figure out a better naming convention. What's the limit on characters here? Oh, that is more than I'll ever need. Good. Right, let's just double check that worked. It did. So I think I should also mention, yeah, the prologue may have followed Rin and Archer, but this is the Fate route. The Fate route comes first. And as you might have guessed from the sidebars I have put up throughout this entire series so far, the Fate route follows Shirou and Saber. And that pleases me. I guess we might have to wait to see how the whole Rin and Saber situation turns out, because this is taking place a few days before then, back in January 31st. And Rin's first 3 days took place over the first few days of February. So, right. So what should I do? What should I have Shirou do? Sakura is nice. I like her. It would be nice to help her. But she did seem pretty adamant about, you clean up, you do all your stuff, I'll go do everything. So I think I will stick to her wishes, and I will see, I will just go and finish Shirou's daily routine. The Emiya house has a big dojo. It was built when the house was built. Yes, the house has a dojo. The dojo was built when the house was built, for it is in the house. Yes. Oh God. Yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. It was only intended as a hobby. Well, I'll warm up a bit before breakfast. I'm not really studying martial arts, but since Father told me, if you want to be like me, you'll have to train your body first, it became my daily routine to work out. 99, 100... I finish my routine sit-ups and change out of my gi into my uniform. Is it gi or G? I think it's gi. I slept in this morning, so I cut short of my workout. Some sit-ups with no stretching should be enough. No stretching? I'm not the kind to build up a lot of muscle, and it's not like I want to get into a fight. Yeah, this guy has no idea about the incoming Holy Grail War, does he? He just has no idea. All I need is enough athletic ability to handle sudden accidents and to move as I wish when I have to. You know what? I can't fault him for that. After all, the thing I want to become is complete opposite of an athlete. A cubicle worker? Oh, this late already? I put the sweaty gi into the laundry basket. It's 6:20. 6:20 is late? In our house, even this is a late time for breakfast. What? Oh, this is nightmarish. You know what time I woke up this morning? 10 a.m. I woke up at 10 a.m. Then again, I always have been a night owl. I like to go to bed at 2 a.m., so... Breakfast is already prepared. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura. Breakfast is ready! Yeah, thanks. Sorry, you had to do more work because I slept in. Are those? Right, that's a pink apron with Sakura petals patterned on them. Branding, I assume. No, it's no work at all. Besides, you didn't sleep in. This is early for you since you're not in any clubs. Clubs have nothing to do with it. When you bring clubs into it, you have to wake up early to come when you have morning practice. To come here when you have morning practice. Yeah, sorry, I kind of sometimes running into trouble reading the, I'm sometimes having trouble reading the text when it's at the very top of the screen because, to best record my voice, my microphone is kind of hanging down over my monitor, and my view of the top third, or no, the top 1/4 of my screen is kind of interrupted in the center, so I'm kind of having to move my head a bit to read the top text, but it works out. No, I'm doing this because I want to, so please don't worry about my club. Yeah, you always say that. Well, that's why I wake up early, clubs or not. It's rude for me to sleep in if you're going to be here. For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Yeah, so just what is Sakura Mato's deal? Or Mato Sakura's deal? Like, are they... I assume they're neighbors, but are they already in a relationship? I mean, I would assume so. Why else would Sakura be doing all this for Shirou? Though, this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so. You always put too much weight on these things. Mitsuzuri always says you're so honest that it's annoying. Oh, Mitsuzuri. I want to say that's the female teacher who was like a wrestler. Oh, no. No, Mitsuzuri. Look, that Mitsuzuri, the one that that Rin had tea with in the morning. Look, I have a cheat sheet for the characters. Every time I record a new video, I update it with the new information I learn. I'm gonna add stuff about Shirou and Kuretsugu and all that once I'm done with this video. And maybe I'll just give that a read-over every time I start recording again, alright? Mitsuzuri is the captain of the archery club Sakura is in, and someone I have a lot of acquaintance with. Is she still complaining to you about me? Yes, she's working hard every day to beat you in archery before she graduates. So Shirou's not part of a club, but he still does archery. And he's still beating the captain. Jeez, she must be better than me by now. Is she just glorifying the memories? I don't mind people thinking highly of me, but I guess it depends on who they are. Mitsuzuri hates losing, so she probably thinks of you as a rival. Sakura puts rice into a bowl as she talks. It's almost 6:30. The archery club's morning practice starts at 7. It's not mandatory, but she can't afford to take it easy. Fuji will be here soon, so I guess. Well, it's her fault for not getting here on time. Well, Sakura, let's go ahead and start eating. Oh. Yes, here you go. Sakura hands me the bowl with a smile. Then, I'm used to this every morning, but her white fingers catch my eye. What's up? How can I put this? It's troubling. She must be maturing as she seems really feminine these days. Her casual movements are beautiful and she often takes my breath away. Perhaps it's a reaction to not feeling anything for her until now, but I'm noticing more and more feminine characteristics in her. Okay, Shirou has a fingers fetish. Wait, so... this arrangement of Sakura coming over every morning has been going over for a year and a half, and you're only now developing feelings. Really? Wow. Oh, Mato. Not Mato, El Shirou. there's being ignorant, and then there's this. Oh, my man. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. Don't worry, it's nothing. Huh? Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between me and Mito Sakura is just that of a senpai and a junior. Really? Really? Dude, Look, I have no idea if this sort of relationship is normal. If a junior just comes over every morning to cook for a senpai. If that's just expected of school relationships. But come on, dude! She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago into this cooperative kind of a relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. Okay, well, I do think now would be a good place to end things. Well, no, actually, I think this scene might be almost over. I'm gonna press on just a little bit more. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial thing came up to make her stay with it. Anyway, Sakura is a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. She's been a big help around here, but it's been a bit troubling recently. The problem is not in Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking first years, and I'm sure there are lots of guys who want to date her. On top of that, she's been growing in certain places recently, and some of her casual gestures have started to catch my eye. Ooh la la. Senpai has noticed her! Ah! That's what I mean by a small problem. Maybe I'm just feeling guilty about being attracted to my friend's sister. That explains it. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like just now, I blush. Does this make me an unsuitable senpai? Oh heavens. Okay, now that's a good place to stop. Huh. I really like Rin. I really like Archer. I really enjoyed my time with them, and I look forward to the next route, which will be following their adventures through this Holy Grail War. But yeah, I like Shirou. He's cool. I like someone who's very capable and who works hard and has a good hobby. And yeah, I'm very drawn in by how this person with no magical talent whatsoever could possibly have summoned Saber. And of all possible Sabers, it was that one. So, yeah, I'm gonna assume the symbols left on the floor in the shed are a summoning sign, probably left by Kuretsugu. Though, of course, that would mean that Kuretsugu never told Shirou about them. Yeah, I have to wonder if Shirou even knows what a Holy Grail is. What a heroic spirit is. So I assume, as we go throughout the days, we'll probably see Shirou's perspective in some quiet character building moments, relationship building moments with other characters in the school. Maybe see other sides of Mitsuzuri. and maybe others like Shinji Mato Shinji. I am suspecting that I still think that Shirou is the person who looked up from the streets and saw Rin at the top of the skyscraper. I'll be curious to see if that comes to pass. And of course, I do expect that we'll see Shirou's perspective when Lancer stabs him in the heart. When he gets healed by Rin, he stumbles home, somehow summons Saber. And then I assume things will catch up from there. I'm going to assume that at the last moment, Shirou will call off Saber and save Rin's life. And I don't know, I think if Shirou learns that Rin saved Shirou's life, saved his life, then the two would form an alliance. Like, the war is a war. The goal is to be the last Magus and servant standing, but there's nothing stopping an alliance from forming. Because I'm assuming, like, if Saber learned that this enemy Magus saved Shirou's life, then she'd be all for it. Yeah, you're a good person. I'll help you out. So yeah, I continue to really enjoy these characters. I continue to be really entranced by the setting and the concept. I'm just having a good old time. Maybe next time I might actually go back and to that choice we just made and see what would happen. I don't know. I wonder how worth it is, but oh well. Next time, ladies and gentlemen. For now, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been Fate Stay Night and the proper beginning of the Fate route. I thank you for watching, and hopefully I will catch you next time. So until then, please take care.